have with us the legendary Julian the Hawk Jackson. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. Giving praise and giving God thanks.
All the time, all the time. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to Bayloric TV. Big news, your son is now on Showtime.
Hey, I guess, I'm not too, like that, but why? Because we expected that,
Right.
It was just a matter of when,
So,
and I guess this is the time.
So, obviously, when you first heard the news, what were your thoughts?
That the hard work paid off, and the sacrifice that was made, that Julius made, is definitely paying off.
There is something I'd like to talk to you about, actually, and we're talking about middleweights, super middleweights in particular. Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Eubank. Don't know if you saw the fight recently between him and Billy Joe Saunders. Yes, well, the thing was, Chris Eubank Sr. has been very much a focal point of Junior's career, to the point where he's standing in the corner and posing in the corner while Junior's meant to be in a big fight. What are your thoughts in terms of you being a father and a former world champion, and a decorated world champion as well to that, and a well-respected world champion, and of course being your son's career? How do you balance that out, being a former world champion with all the reputation and fought some of the great fighters? How do you balance that out to make sure that you're not overstepping the mark and you being the lead man and not your son? How do you balance that out?
It's his career. I'm only there to train him, and again, because of my my stature, because of what I did in my own career, it can be a plus or it can be a negative.
Right.
And right now, I believe it's a plus, and I feel that because of me being there, it's an incentive to him as well.
Right.
And I feel that our coming together has meshed tremendously, and we have gathered not only just being a father-son figure, but I would say a coach trainer, a coach athlete,
Right.
and we have meshed that aspect of our relationship, and I think that we are going to different levels now, in the sport. And what I did not achieve in my own career, I truly believe that they will achieve and even more.
Wow. But what gives you that belief system?
My faith, our faith in God, our stand, and we are standing really in a time right now where there's so much negative things, about father-son, being involved in boxing, and can the son achieve what the father, and all of that. But I believe that Julius has his own mind, he has his own faith. I can believe for him, I can stand for him, and I truly believe that he's been showing tremendous strides in his in his career, in his abilities, to go out there and do what he's supposed to do. And I mean, there's nothing in my mind, in my heart right now, that is telling me that Julius is not, where he should be. He is where he should be right now, and there's more grounds, to achieve. There are more places, more heights, more levels. But right now, I feel that he's to where he should be, and he will be able to advance even more.
Okay, now it's been noted, I've noticed it, Danny Garcia with his father, Angel, what's the other guy's name? Guerrero with his father, right. Mayweather and his father and his uncle,
right.
Being the mouthpiece in a heated press conference. Are you going to be one of those fathers that get involved when a fighter is maybe being derogatory towards your son in terms of trash talking to sell a fight, are you going to be one that's going to be vocal? Are you going to be one of these guys that's going to stand back and just watch it from a distance?
I'll be honest with you. Only when that time comes, I guess, you will know. But right as for now, I believe that Julius is his own man, and I believe that Julius has his own mind and his own, way of dealing with things. And I'm confident that he's man enough to deal with, that kind of, situation that comes up in boxing. And it's something that I have dealt with in my own career. And the way I dealt with it was the way I personally deal with life in general. And I'm just being real about everything. And I hope that I passed on some kind of example that will enrich these guys and strengthen these guys and give them I guess the desire to really do what is right. That's all I can say.
Right. I noticed on the top of your hat you've got GGG.
Yes, that's I got this hat from the trainer of
Abel Sanchez.
Galactic. Yeah, Abel Sanchez, and
great guy.
Hey, I'm in the camp, and I respect Abel Sanchez. Abel Sanchez actually was Terry Norris' trainer.
Yes. Oh well, yeah. We all know what you did.
Yeah, he was actually Terry Norris' trainer when we met, and we became very good friends. After that, and why? Because of my respectable, I guess my respect towards him as a coach, and the person that I was. He really, showed respect to me as well, and I think that that goes, I think, throughout the way you respect boxing.
Yes.
And what is boxing? Boxing is the people. Boxing is the coaches. Boxing is just not, boxing is the fighters. And if you respect boxing, boxing will respect you. And I think that's what's happening right now. I'm being respected because I was respected to boxing.
Absolutely. Now, you were a legendary puncher. Not just a guy who hit people and they fell. You hit people and you put them out unconscious. There's no doubt about it. When you hit guys, there was no messing about. Now, GGG's got that similar sort of punch power. And Kovalev, really disturbing punch power. Where do these guys get this punch power? And where did you get your punch power from, do you think? And do you think there's a common thread between what you do and what they're doing today?
Well, yes, there's a similarity as far as, being, close to Galapkin now. In fact, that my son is a spar mate with him. Mm-hmm. I'm able to see a lot of things that the normal man don't see when Galapkin goes into the ring, right, and he does his thing. But some fighters are born with the ability to punch. Okay? Right. And I was one of those athletes that was born with the ability to punch, but I had a coach that actually increased my ability to punch. And that's something that I believe that all fighters have. Some fighters have to work hard, train hard, okay, in order to deliver a punch correctly. Some fighters just go about it naturally. And I'm one of those natural, fighters that, if I throw my fist, my body follows my fist. So I'm not just hitting you with my arm, I'm hitting you with my whole body. And that's something that I've learned, and I try to pass it on to my sons. And I believe that one of them, the one that I believe that has that trait, okay, the gene from my punching ability is my youngest son, John. And he can hit, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of now developing him and maturing him in that aspect, as well as Julian's.
Let's talk about the Andy Lee fight very quickly. He was in a fight against Andy Lee, and he was winning the fight against Andy Lee, and then got tagged with a beautiful shot. I mean, nobody saw that punch coming. What was your thoughts about that?
Wow, I think it's a punch that, you can't really, duck from. You don't see it. The punch that you don't see is the punch that sometimes, knock you out. And that happened to me in my own career as well. Right. And I feel that, You know, I always say to my athletes and you know, even as a professional in my time, win, lose or draw, I feel that I'm a winner. Why? Because of who I am, you know, as a person, as an individual, because of my faith. All things work together for the good for those that love God. And I told my son, I said, listen, don't worry about what happened. You know, it happened. You know, just accept it and deal with it and come back. You know, and you will see, and you will be amazed what will happen when you do come back. And that's what it is, you know.
I want to also ask you advice on something that I'm seeing a lot in boxing. Guys reeling off lots of knockouts, not really fighting quality opponents, and being rushed into world title fights, having gone 2 and 3 fights.
That is so true.
Now, talk to me about that, because I know what you want to say. Talk to me about it. Educate the fans about this.
Wow, I feel that we have a lot of now, you know, smart people in boxing, and you know, a gentleman told me, he said, "Man, I wish that there were more people like you coming into the sport of boxing because you know you had a love for it, and you didn't. It doesn't matter who you fought, you just wanted to go in there and fight. But today, you know, we are picking fighters, you know, and I have to have the upper hand. As long as I know that I have a chance to beat that fighter, I will fight him. If I don't have a chance to fight him, I don't want to fight him. I'm not going to allow my fighter to fight him. So I believe that we have a lot of boxers now that are picking and choosing who to fight and to develop themselves to look good. But when they do get a chance to go against the best, you realize that, wait a minute, you know, you got an undefeated record, you got 29 knockouts, 29 wins, but yet, you know, you go in there and it looks as if you're an amateur, man. And I think that's a case right now that is happening. If you're a coach, trainer, you know, you will start to put your fight against the best and try to put them up against good, solid fighters, rather than giving them fighters that they can easily knock out in 1 round, 2 rounds. You know, and I believe that's the problem right now for big money, you know, and really don't want to, you know, show the respect to the sport and go in there and, you know, challenge the best. If you're the best, challenge the best. And that's something that has been happening. But again, you know, we have to respect it. As like I'm saying, we have to respect the sport of boxing. And there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of coaches that want, you know, to I guess, go millionaires. And the best way to become a millionaire, you know, is to have an undefeated fighter. And at no cost, it doesn't matter what, you know, he can win all his fights, but develop him so he can get a chance to fight the best in the world. You know, and that's what it's all about, money. You know, so we are putting guys up in there that fought, you know, 50 fights against 50 C. Maybe the rating is C, you know, C average guys.
Yeah.
You know, and then now, boom, they're going to fight an A average man, and there's no competition. And that happens a lot. And, you know, that's something that we don't want to happen with us. We want to fight the best. And, hey, you know, we are definitely doing our best. Yes, there's a time that you have to use wisdom, you know, in the sport of boxing. And, you know, that's something that I've learned, you know, in my own career now. That's something that I'm trying to do right now with my sons and try not to get into the same problems that I ran into with promoters, with certain managers and stuff like that. So that's why I am now managing and training my athletes, my fighters.
So, for fans on the outside watching these glorious highlights of knockouts of fighters and have never been untested, what would you advise fans to look at?
Well, you know, mainly, you know, it's difficult because right now the promoters, you know, have gotten to a point where there's a lot of, you know, jazzling. I call it jazzling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're guys looking to be the best promoters in the world, and they want to get the best records, and they're looking for guys with the best records out there, not realizing that these records are really shallow. They're not real, you know. And yet, the average man that knows boxing,
yes,
okay, can look at a fighter and tell if that fighter is real or not, you know, and will either man tune into that fight and because he knows it's going to be a good fight, or tune out and say, man, I'm not going to buy that fight because, you know, he's shallow, man. He's not real. He's not a real fighter. And my thing is that, you know, if people really want to give the best that they have, you know, to the public, to the community, because it's the community really is what develops any sport. And we have to give them the best, you know. And if the promoters will begin to really open up their eyes and realize this, you know what I'm saying, that I believe that the sport of boxing, you know, is definitely going to stay on top, you know, like it should be.
The Virgin Islands, how's the Virgin Islands been impacted, or how do they respond to the fact that obviously you've been a world champion and your son's in the sport of boxing? What's the reaction like?
You know, it's a, you know, I should say seesaw type thing. Right. They said a prophet is not known in his own country, but I must say that I thank God for the people in my country, the government have been supported. We may not have been supported as we would like to, but we have been supported. We are being supported, and I thank God they're coming around more now because they see the dream, they see the vision, you know, that we have been, you know, giving out to them. And now my sons, you know, John, Julius, and even my nephew Samuel, you know, they are painting this picture now. It's much more clearer for the world to see, for the Virgin Islands to see. And now the government is starting to say, okay, you know what? We realize that we have something here, and they're starting to really step up to the plate.
Are there going to be more good fights come out of the Caribbean?
I'll tell you this. There are tremendous athletes, okay, that will be coming out of the Caribbean, out of the Virgin Islands. You know, I've seen them. I have the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about what's coming, I think, in the future, okay, for boxing in the Caribbean, in the Virgin Islands.
I would love to be able to know more about these fighters. As you know, obviously I've been in Grenada for a few years, and the boxing there wasn't great, to be honest.
Right, right.
So I know Trinidad's got a bit better with their boxing. Of course, Jamaica's had some great fighters. Mike McCallum, Glenn Goff Johnson are two to name already. You know, you know. So there's some great fighters that come out of the Caribbean. Julian Jackson, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
All right, man. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
And I've got to ask this question. You've got GGG in your head.
Yes.
Fantasy matchup. GGG. You're not going to ask it. GGG versus Julian Jackson. What happens?
Oh, man. It would have been, I tell you what, the earth would have shaken. Okay? The earth would have been shaken, you know. As a matter of fact, I was asked that by a commentator before. You know, you've been such a tremendous puncher, and Galapkin, oh man, he's a super puncher. You know, would have liked to fight him. I said, definitely, man. The excitement that would have bring, you know, and you know, I thought about it, seeing him train, seeing my son working with him, and you know, it just gives me goosebumps, you know, where I imagine actually, you know, putting on gloves with him in my time. But hey, it's his time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm now, you know, sitting down and watching my sons, you know, go out there and do their thing, and it's just a tremendous opportunity to see the young fighters coming up and making waves, you know. And you know, it's just a tremendous opportunity. So I hope that I answered your question.
Mr. Jackson, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV once again. Thank you.
Awesome, man. You're doing a tremendous job, man. Keep it up, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All the best.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Bye-bye.